entertainment industry rejection of white men. This is a story that's gotten a lot of discussion. It's called The Lost Generation by Jacob Savage. He wrote this story. He was an aspiring screenwriter. It's on a website called compactmag.com. We will link in the description. Badger, you have the notes.
The Lost Generation details entertainment industry rejection of white men. I'm writing about the moment the entertainment industry quietly changes the rules and how the change lands not only the powerful people at the top, but those of us trying to enter or advance from the middle. In Hollywood, the rise of DEI initiatives after the mid-2010s reshapes who gets hired, staffed, and promoted, particularly in television, and the exact moment the business itself is shrinking. The people who already have power keep it, the latter disappears beneath them. What I see is not older white men losing control. Studio heads, showrunners, producers, and executives largely remain untouched. The real shift happens down low, or lower down, where opportunity is supposed to begin. Entry-level and mid-career jobs in writers' rooms increasingly come with explicit or implicit mandates. Women and diverse candidates only. White men are not banned outright, but they are effectively excluded from the roles that once served as the path forward. I'm not blocked from the top, I'm blocked from the first rung. In television, this creates an upside-down system. I can pitch, develop, and even sell a show more easily than I can get staffed as a writer. Agencies circulate written staffing requirements that quietly remove white men from consideration for junior and mid-level positions. As a result, white men nearly vanish from lower-level writer rooms, while those who remain are veterans who entered the industry before the rules changed. You can sell a show before you're allowed to sit in the room. Film follows the same pattern. Fellowships, labs, diversity programs, and studio initiatives prioritize identity as a primary qualification. These programs are framed as expanding opportunity, but from where I stand, they function as locked gates. Scripts go unread, applications go unanswered, and rejection often arrives without explanation. It's not that your work isn't good enough, it's that it isn't needed. What makes this especially disorienting is that the industry continued to speak in the language of merit, hustle, and perseverance. I'm told to keep writing, keep networking, keep breaking through, even as the entry points narrow and the math stops working. No one announces the shift. You only discover it by repeatedly colliding with invisible walls. The rules change quietly, and you're expected not to notice. The outcome is not rage, but drift. Writers, assistants, editors, and creatives I know stop chasing institutional validation altogether. They move into podcasts, newsletters, independent production, YouTube, or leave the industry entirely. These choices are not ideological. They are pragmatic responses to an industry that no longer has room but refuses to admit it. People don't leave Hollywood because they fail. They leave because there's nowhere left to go. What I'm describing is not the correction of past injustice, but the creation of a new blind spot. Hollywood celebrates progress while quietly shredding a generation of would-be creators who arrived too late, fit the wrong demographic profile, and lack the power to say out loud without consequences. The silence isn't an accident, it's part of the system. In the entertainment industry, I am not watching opportunity expand, I am watching it reroute, bypassing people like me entirely, leaving behind a Hollywood hollowed out middle that no amount of branding or virtue language can conceal. This is what exclusion looks like when it wears the language of progress.
Yeah. So this story's gotten a lot of discussion. The writer, it's a very long, those are just the highlights. It's a very long article worth reading. I'm really discussing how opportunities are thin, far between. I can tell you for a fact, I was rejected. I was pitching a cartoon show years ago and looking for new representation. And the manager who was looking to rep me said, "I'm sorry, you're white." I didn't think much of it at the time. This was in 2012.
Male and pale is stale, Chris.
Male and pale, like, was a real thing. And I've got other friends that have told me specifically that they've had issues where and what they've done everyone, the two things. One, they've either left the industry entirely and said, I'm going to do something else. Or what they've done is gone independent and said, F it. If the industry won't give me an opportunity, I'll make my own. That's the way to go. But I mean, we've seen it. We've seen it.
I wanted to show this chart.
Oh, please.
Yeah, the third column there, low-level TV writers. In 2011, white men comprised 48%, 2024, 12%.
Wow.
They go on to show law school graduates and medical students.
Well, the guy ends the
it's
piece.
all about gatekeeping. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
The guy ends the piece in kind of a really sad way where he aspired to work in entertainment, wanted to be a writer, and he's like, he's past, like, they're not interested in him. It's very clear.
And
I
why?
mean,
And why?
according to Grace Randolph, there's too many white men in Hollywood. So
Right.
12% is too much.
Well, as long as the
Well,
white
they
people
won't
are
have
replaced by
necessarily.
Asians, I think we're okay.
Yeah.
We've heard.
I'm just saying it's real. And I can tell you, someone I know that pitched a Marvel TV show, they loved the pitch. They loved the two writers. It was two white guys, and they rejected it on that basis. It's happened to too many. People are afraid to speak out. I'm saying read this article. You're not alone.
I've read it.
And I'll also add, make your own opportunity. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's what's going to
Well,
happen.
that's exactly what I was saying. The same thing about the comedians. You know, it's like once you start putting up these guardrails and you start restricting, you know, what can come in, then they just go elsewhere. You know, the comedians,
Right.
the talent, then you lose the talent. All right. Now the talent is not in Hollywood like it used to be, because Hollywood would have been the, you know, the mecca of talent. And like, hey, we all got to get to Hollywood. Everybody was trying to get into Hollywood. But then when Hollywood puts up guardrails, okay, then I'm just going to make my own lanes. And now independent will take off streaming and everything else that you see out there. So, yeah, I mean, it's not surprising to hear that.
But Hollywood has always had these guardrails, man. I mean, this is how, like, quote unquote black cinema came about, right? Because they weren't letting us in. So all of a sudden we started making our own stuff, like back in the late 70s and the 80s. And, you know, and that's where the term, black movie came from, was because black folks were like, hey, you know what? If you're not going to, you know, take us in and have us be part of this, then we'll just do our own thing.
We're gonna have a white
Hollywood has
exploitation
always
film.
had guardrails as far as who they let in and who they don't. It's just that now, you know, they flipped it, and it's white guys who they're excluding, which is weird. Because you know, Hollywood will never learn its lesson that, hey, just don't exclude anybody and let people do their own thing. But
we need to make some
just
white
produce the good
exploitation movies.
there's always been these stupid guardrails that Hollywood has had.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Hollywood forever always required you to make yourself valuable. That's really the number one job that you have. Make yourself valuable, and stuff will come from that.
Yep.
Paul, then you know, it was about talent, right? Back then you had to have talent.
Okay.
Now it's not even about that. Now it's literally about what box do you check.
Yeah. The only way to make yourself valuable now is to either like be a woman, a person of color. That's what they value now. You
Well,
know?
there was
LGBTQ,
what was that?
you know?
Paul, you'll remember what was that Woody Allen movie where he had like where he was a writer that couldn't write. It was during the McCarthy era, and he couldn't write. And
paper.
And he just hired someone. He got hired to sort of be a face person for someone who was on the blacklist.
Wasn't that a Woody Allen movie?
Yeah,
it is. That's what I just said. Anyways, maybe that's what you do.
The Front.
The front.
That was a great movie. Woody Allen didn't direct that one, though. I believe he was an actor.
That's what you should have did with your cartoon pitch.
That's
Chris.
what I should do.
You should have got Dante to be the front man for that whole situation. You would have been good, man.
Mexican Iron Man actually contemplated having an agency that will front you all sorts of ethnic and sexually diverse individuals
Oh my god.
to pitch your stuff. Talk to Mexican Iron Man.
Somebody
Good
needs to write
idea.
that comedy,
Yeah.
man. That's hilarious. Somebody needs to write that.
The problem with all of that is none of that correlates to whether someone is talented or good at what they do.
No,
True.
And that
Right.
when it comes right down to it, I mean, if you really look at it, just the demographics, the thing that's frustrating about this, and having been a white man working in Hollywood since 1989, the problem is the demographics in America, especially, are not everybody is not equal in terms of the numbers of people that want to get into the entertainment business.
Right.
You know, there's if you just look at the breakdown, what is so 14% of America is black, for instance, right? You guys?
Yep.
Okay. Of that 14%, how many people in the black community are crazy enough to try and pursue a profession that has no security, that is the horror that is Hollywood? You know, the people that pride eating, desperate. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible way to make a living.
Right.
But of that 14%, how many people that are black are being kept away? I would say zero are being kept away. The people that want to get into it will go into it because they will endure the horrors of trying to get into that profession, and they will follow their bliss, and they will follow their artistry. And like anyone else, the people that succeed, not everyone's going to be Ryan Coogler, but there's a lot of people. You have your Anton Fuquas, you have the people that have really persevered and made something of themselves. And I would say that there's probably just as many people who are black that are represented based on the demographics of America. That, I mean, F. Gary Gray, there are people that command A-list budgets in Hollywood. You know, Ryan Coogler, man, he can get himself a $200 million budget if he wants. How many people who are working at that level, if you look at the top 20 directors, all of whom have made tentpole properties, I would say if you looked at the demographics, probably black representation on that top 20 is pretty much in line with American demographics. And yet there's this myth that somehow people are being kept away.
Well, there needs to be a true breakdown of the demographics in this country. There's a rumor that there was a document out there called the Reflection Report saying that there is that sort of complaint that every time you see an ad, it's always a mixed race couple.
Right.
It's all, and it's so constant. The stats on the,
and it's always in one direction. It's always a white dude with a very light-skinned black family. It's the Running Man thing. And then there's no chemistry between them. It's obvious.
Anyways,
I'd rather
it's
just
like,
see an all-black family, which I've been seeing more, an all-Asian family, like,
but you
to show
see it
families
all the time. It's almost like a cliche. Like it's weird when you see like
weird
an all white family or a white couple in a commercial, because you never see it. It's almost,
you know why that
weird.
is?
Yeah,
Because
why?
the companies that are promoting their products don't talk to each other, to other companies. And so they have their own mandate, their own ideas, their own virtue signaling. So they all do it, and they do it the same way. Up here in Canada, for some reason, we've now shifted to black and Asian. Every couple is black and Asian. That's where we are right now here in Canada. But these are individual companies that are making these decisions.
probably the other way, Alan.
And yeah, move to Canada, Alan. And you'll get worse.
And again,
They don't talk to each other. They don't have a pool that says, oh, we've now reached the limits of the population percentage that our country now exists in. We no longer have to do this, and the commercials for the rest of the year are all going to be white. They don't talk to each other.
Well, it goes back to like not learning the lessons, right? Again, yeah, there are more interracial couples now than there ever were in history, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But again, instead of just showing like a mixture of, hey, same race, mixed race, they always kind of, it's like, you know, like Dave Chappelle said about, you know, habitual line steppers, right? It's like they can't just like go up to the line and stay at the line. They have to go past the line, right? So you can't have a mixture. Now it's just only mixed couples.
Right. And
or
find
gay, of course,
and find a competent male, straight male. Find a competent straight male in any ad now.
Good luck.
Never.
Good luck.
Yeah.
No, it's a good point.
Yeah. It's not like I want to see a TV show with all white people. There's plenty of those that already exist. But I mean, I just want to see it maybe more reflect kind of what's real. I like to see something that's just all black people and no white people for one. That would be good.
I'm
And
just
not
glad that
everything-
Taylor Sheridan got work, because gay people getting work in Hollywood, that's a hard slog.
Right. But just I don't know. I think we think and talk about all this stuff, race, a little too much, but these stats are alarming.
Well, we talk about it, man, because they won't stop talking about it, right? I mean, it's
Well, that's true.
if they just focus on quality, we would never be having these conversations.
Yeah, we're starting to come out of it. It's been 10 years. We knew all the studies. We knew all the DEI. Elon Musk shared all the things, and they're largely gone or obfuscated. But now you're seeing all the effects. Now we're stuck with an industry that has been gutted.
Well,
and,
an industry that's been decimated by it.
Yeah.
Well, you look at something like the Sundance Film Festival or festivals in general, and because they are so consumed with box checking, and that they must have 50% of the filmmakers and directors are women. They have to have that, because they've done that. They've pushed out filmmakers that are very good who don't check that box. And it's made Sundance Film Festival coming up in January kind of irrelevant now, that they've allowed too many films of lesser quality in, where at the end of the year, we're not talking about that great Sundance movie that's going to go on to win Oscars.